Welcome to the North Idaho Experience, a podcast for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. In today's episode, Dave and I introduce our new custom home builder addition to the team, John Cantrell, Spencer Mortenson, both former and still current law enforcement, tons of experience building custom homes, and they will now be known as North Idaho Experience Custom Homes. We're super stoked to introduce these guys. They are building my own home right now, as well as a few others in the process. So enjoy. It was a good conversation. There was some whiskey consumed, fair warning, and some good stories from their time in law enforcement as well. Hey guys, if you are thinking about making the move up here, give our real estate team a call. North Idaho Experience. We specialize in helping conservative families find their freedom right here in North Idaho.
All right, perfect. Welcome to the podcast, North Idaho Experience. We got a couple guys with us today that's actually, this has been something that we're pretty excited about. We got John Cantrell and Spencer Mortenson with us today. And then obviously the man.
Oh, thanks, David.
Seth Horst.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about today, John and Spencer, both former Coeur d'Alene PD, yes. Active Coeur d'Alene PD, former Coeur d'Alene PD. Both guys that I met through law enforcement up here, developed friendships with, and now that we are involved in real estate, we have decided to launch North Idaho Experience Custom Homes. So this is the first time we're talking to you guys about all this stuff. And it's not a custom home podcast. Nobody wants to talk about building. We'll get to that, and we'll have some videos that come out on all the processes that go along with building in North Idaho, from permitting to selections to groundwork to everything else at points. But tonight we just wanted to get to know you guys and introduce you guys to everybody out here. So thanks for coming.
Get to know your builders.
Get to know them.
That sounds, thanks for having us.
Doesn't sound cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So they are building my house right now, full disclosure, and it's going well. And like Dave said, we're videoing the whole process. There'll be some challenges because we're on our third videographer now, but it's happening, and you guys will kind of get to know how it happens, because it's a process and it's daunting, especially if you've never done it before. These guys are helping out tremendously and making it a lot easier on me and my wife, so we don't fight, which is cool. But yeah, so that's the goal of this podcast, I think, is to get to know them, understand what we're doing up here, and why we're just going to absolutely destroy everybody.
So just keep looking for something, because we are going to try to do basically a documentary on you guys building Seth's house. I mean, we started out with bringing SWAT there. We donated the house so that SWAT could come up and they could do some explosive breaching. They could do all sorts of cool stuff with Seth's house, run canines through it, everything else, and run scenarios so they could do live training. So that was a lot of fun. And, the thing is that people have a lot of anxiety about building a new home, because, I'm doing the garage edition right now that you guys are doing for us. You got Seth's house, and there's a lot of unknowns I've never built before. And I think there's a lot of people that call us that they want those answers. Like, what's the permitting like? How long does it take to build a home? What's the average square footage? All these different things, which we will get into on another podcast. But look for that documentary if you're ever interested, and we'll kind of walk you through that whole thing, or call us if you have questions. But I'll start off. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is John Cantrell. I've been in Coeur d'Alene since 2003. I'm Idaho native, although I'm not born and raised in Coeur d'Alene. I was born and raised in Boise. Made it through high school years. Actually, funny story how I ended up in Coeur d'Alene. Me and 8 other buddies from varsity football team, we wanted to go to Canada because the legal drinking age was 18. So we loaded up a couple of Suburbans, a lot of cheap beer that was left over from college graduations, and we made a trek through Coeur d'Alene up to Canada. It was summertime, and we drove down Sherman. I fell in love with everything. The beach, the people, the park, everything that you can recreate in, the view, everything about North Idaho. We make our way up to Canada. Little did we know, we didn't do our research where you cross the border. From Idaho into Canada, you have to be 19 years old. So we all get minor in possession of alcohol.
No way.
Day 2 of our trip.
No
Can't
way.
even make this up. 8 guys standing roadside. We try to be cool getting through the border. We obviously didn't have a cool face on. They red flag us, pull us to the side. We get inspected. We had 96 Natural Light beer cans, 15 Coeurs.
Natty?
No
way.
Wow.
Anyway, they pull us to the side. They inspect our Suburbans. We all get up there, it was called smuggling. We were smugglers of alcohol. So anyway, day 2 into our trip, 9 in the morning, we get pulled roadside by the inspectors at Border Patrol, and we get MIPs. We didn't do our research, so anyway, we don't want to ruin a week-long trip. We laugh it off, and we get the heck out of where you have to be 19. We make it all the way over to Banff, Calgary, that whole general area where we know you have to be 18. All of us are frustrated, so we tie one on in Banff. We go downtown. We have a blast. They're all really good guys, all very successful. We were kids growing up, and we just wanted to have fun. Anyway, fast forward to 2003, I found out that North Idaho College has a law enforcement program, and I had known since 3rd grade that I wanted to join law enforcement. The fastest way that I could get in was to join their block, and it's a little different than other states, so I should probably give a little context. North Idaho College sets up a police academy coupled with college credits towards a law enforcement academy that makes you a certifiable police officer in the state of Idaho. I do that coupled with getting an associate's degree, and then ultimately when I turn 21, I get hired on with the police department. And
dang, you got on at 21.
21.
Dude.
You played football?
I played football.
You don't look like a
You
football.
look a little too small to play football, to be honest. Yeah.
I played football in high school.
He looks like one of the guys out of Minecraft, like the square head dude.
One of my biggest regrets, knowing what I know now, is not going to college to play football at Boise
yeah.
State, my alma mater. So
Would you have made it?
at least as a walk-on.
All right.
No big deal.
No big deal. Last 20 years, got hired, went straight to patrol. Back then, the police academy was down in Boise. That's where they sent everybody for the entire state. Now there's a delineated line halfway through Idaho. So if you live on the north portion of the state, you stay in Coeur d'Alene, which is where most of us instruct at. And then if you're on the lower half, you go to Boise's police academy. Quick snapshot of my career. I did 2 years in patrol. And I don't know how to say this without making me look bad, but I was not a call chaser. I wasn't a fan of it. The little things that people argue about didn't move my needle. I was a drug hound, let's get bad people off the street kind of guy.
The best kind.
The best guy, in my opinion.
We need all types, right?
100%.
I should say that. All types.
I would
needed.
agree.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a street monster. I mean, if you sold drugs, if you were a violent criminal, a murderer, a rapist, or a child molester, that's the stuff that I felt like being a cop was successful in my opinion. Those are the things that moved my needle, which I wanted to chase. So after 2 years in patrol, recognizing this guy's worthless, he doesn't want to just go shag calls, he just goes after violent people anyway, so we might as well give him a little gift. I got kicked over to a federal task force with the FBI, North Idaho Violent Crimes Task Force. I know the word FBI freaks a lot of people out, but it is just a combination of multiple agencies surrounding that we call TFOs.
That must have been
task
fun,
force
dude.
officers.
That must have been a lot of fun.
Some of the most fun times of my life. We literally just ran informants, and we made drug busts throughout the Pacific Northwest. It wasn't just Coeur d'Alene. It was a federal team. We would chase small town dope from Coeur d'Alene all the way over to our neighboring agency of Spokane, and wherever it ended up, we could
Well,
chase
that's the benefit of you being a marshal, basically, is being able to cross borders and everything else and still have the jurisdiction to do it.
100%.
So if you're, because violent criminals don't just live here in Coeur d'Alene, but if they're dealing here, if they're doing things here, you have the ability to go after them.
Yes.
So it makes a huge difference.
We say it all the time. Crime knows no borders, right? If you live in Sandpoint, you come down to Coeur d'Alene to commit a crime, nobody knows what uniform or badge is coming after you. They just know that a law enforcement entity will come after you. We have a sense of pride in Coeur d'Alene where if you commit a crime here, we are going to come get you. So that's what we wanted to instill in the criminal is that fear element that if you commit a crime in Coeur d'Alene, regardless of where you live, we have these federal nexuses that our guys from Coeur d'Alene will come and get you.
Right. Idaho's like that, right? You guys will extradite from all over the place.
Not all of Idaho, and actually it's very unique. So a lot of, and I don't know state by state, but there are a lot of states where you have border-to-border authority. Like you have legal authority border-to-border. Idaho is very unique. Outside of another agency requesting some sort of serious felony where people lives are in danger, some sort of MOU agreement with another agency, we cannot leave our city for any sort of law enforcement action. We recognize that. So we tie in with these federal entities so that we can chase bad guys. Because obviously, if you're a criminal, you don't care what jurisdiction you commit the crime in. You're just committing the crime to get whatever fruitful possessions, whether it's money or drugs, out of it, and then you go back to your hometown.
I want to come back and talk about these task force, but after you did the Violent Crimes Task Force, where did you go from there?
So Violent Crime Task Force, I came back to patrol for about 9 months. Around that new time, we got a new administration. Great administration. A chief and a captain came up from the Phoenix, Arizona area, and they started a street crime unit. So little time back in patrol, and then they started a street crime unit. We call it the Community Action Team.
Yep.
Go time.
Same thing as what we did on the task force. However, it was all localized. I want you guys to go make sure that the streets are safe and do whatever you can to rid the criminal element or push anxiety into their lives where they don't feel comfortable committing crimes inside of court.
Basically be a threat for them, right?
Be a threat.
Yep.
So and that's something I want to talk to you guys about, because being law enforcement up here, I mean, I started when I was old, right? I was 36 when I started law enforcement. People didn't think that I was a new guy. I know how to talk to people. I didn't come off as a probie. So people didn't know on the street that you're a new cop. I still know what I was doing, but I noticed that. That was really crazy, man. When you stop people here in Coeur d'Alene and they had drugs, multiple times, people would say, man, I knew I shouldn't have brought it to Coeur d'Alene. Like, it followed, right? Criminals knew, don't come here.
They did. Absolutely.
Nonstop.
So,
I don't know how many times we would have confidential informants or we'd order up drugs and they weren't in Coeur d'Alene. However, they would say, we are not bringing it to Coeur d'Alene. To us,
that's cool.
100%.
Yes.
And our debriefs, it was nothing but, chest bumps and fist pumps, right? Like, we were super excited to hear that because
That's true.
Because we were prideful about it, man. We keep criminals out of Coeur d'Alene.
All right,
that's
so you're
truly what we want.
Can we start doing that more? Chest bumps and fist bumps?
So real quick, you were on the CAT team. You're promoted to sergeant. Now you sit as a lieutenant with Coeur d'Alene PD, correct?
I did. So, yep, I had promoted out of the community action team and became a lieutenant with the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Now my current job is patrol. I still have SWAT, and I have a community action team. So those are my current, job priorities.
Dang. Love it, dude.
What about you, Spencer?
I'm Spencer Mortenson. I've been here since I was 16, 1997. And,
We're about the same. We're about the same age, huh?
same.
What are you, 44?
Yeah, I'm a year younger than you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're still the oldest one?
Still the
Yep,
oldest.
oldest one.
You're old,
You can
dude.
own that.
Weird.
I'll follow you anywhere, Captain.
What? I'm outranked. I got a former captain and a lieutenant here.
Lieutenant.
The fuck? I'm just a.
Right. This guy
What's
doesn't-
higher, captain or lieutenant,
It's
dude?
equivalent.
Get out of here.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
You've been here since 16, correct?
My parents are Idaho natives. My dad was born and raised in Southeast Idaho. He left to pursue his career in the FBI, and then he had several years left, and he wanted to move back to Idaho, but not Southeast Idaho, because we all know what that's like. And so we ended up coming up here.
What's it like, Spencer?
I was waiting. It's like an armpit, and so nothing beats Coeur d'Alene area. You just can't compare it to other areas of Idaho. Coeur d'Alene, once you get a taste of it, you go to different areas and you're like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It has a vibe. It has amenities. It has good people.
The whole panhandle, man. I was up in Bonners Ferry all day, and I mean that's 27 miles from Canada, like where you got arrested as a youth.
Right.
They're all a little bit different, right? Every little town up here is a little bit different, but they're all fucking cool, man. Like
They're all badass.
I love it up there. It's gorgeous.
It all has that clean
Yes.
American vibe.
Yes.
There's a delineating line. It's not the same in Lewiston. It's not the
No.
same in
No.
Moscow.
No.
Once you protrude past that coming northbound on 95, it is.
I'd say
God's
it's like the
country.
casino. I think
Yeah,
the
I would agree
casino
with you.
is
North
the
of
line.
the casino.
Yeah.
Is the line.
The
Wherever the north property line of the casino from historical events, I would say north of that.
It
is
changes.
Perfect.
It
All right.
changes. And so we've been here, graduated high school here my last 2 years. We moved here from Maryland and started my law enforcement career at age 21, just like him. I started as a Marine deputy on the waterways. Did that for about 8 months, and then went to the jail for a few years, and then I got hired at the Coeur d'Alene PD, and then
So you were there before he got there.
No, we started pretty much the same year.
Oh, you're pretty close in age then.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're how old are you?
40.
40. I'm 44.
Okay.
And so you were a couple years behind me.
Okay.
But I remember when you started. And so him and I have been working together for
How was that
20 years.
impactful?
What?
How was that impactful?
You should have seen him on a bicycle. You should have seen him on a bicycle. It's like a pumpkin on a toothpick.
I did leave that out of the story.
And so when I got to the Coeur d'Alene PD, hit the street, I really focused on DUIs initially, just that interdiction.
That was my favorite.
Or the focused efforts. I wasn't really a call, chaser like him. I wanted to focus on a certain discipline.
Yeah.
And after a few years of that, getting top cop award and just kind of honing in those skills, I switched over to dope, and then I became a road cop, doing interdiction. Started taking some courses, some trainings, and really got a passion for it. And John and I had no clue that we'd eventually have a competent chief that would form a street crimes unit.
But it makes all the difference, huh?
It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
But day after day, shift after shift, John and I, even though we weren't on the same, we did the same work. And I'll tell you, our supervisors hated it when we were on the same shift.
It's like they know they're catching some use of force paper,
Always.
whatever. Yeah.
They couldn't keep up, and then there was always chatter, and so some chaos. And so eventually, Chief came up here. We heard rumors of the street crimes unit, the CAT team. And all of a sudden, we maintained status quo. We didn't have to change how we operated at all. We just kept driving. Positions came open, and it was a no-brainer. And we started the U.S. Marshals Task Force and Street Crimes Unit in Coeur d'Alene. And it was just time. Chief said gloves off, and we just ate meat, just meat eaters, just going to town.
Is that the beginning of what Boardman calls the 77% reduction in Part 1 crimes?
Yes.
Is that when it started?
Yes.
Seriously? Yeah.
Yes. So I want to talk about that a little bit, because that was something that was really unique. When I came to Coeur d'Alene, Chief White always preached like proactive policing, right?
Correct.
Go out and find felons and put them behind bars.
Yes.
He does not want violent crimes. I mean, he could care less if a call sat on something that's not a priority. He wanted you to go out there and do those things. And I thought it was awesome, because you look at policing and most of it is reactive. You wait for something to happen, then you go to it. But being able to be proactive was neat. So, when I came in, it was really neat to hear about, like, hey, you had this CAT team.
Yep.
And I've heard all the stories, right? Listening to just the guys that were on the CAT team when I got there and knowing what they did. But it was a select group of people that were go-getters. You couldn't be just a call taker for that. Right, you had to be people that had to step out. But the biggest thing Coeur d'Alene was known for, and this is something somebody told me the other day, actually after you were over at my house.
Okay.
I had Tara and Paul over there. Is that this place used to run a lot of meth and a lot of dope.
Really?
A lot.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
It used to be
absolutely.
called the meth capital of the world. No
What?
joke.
Yes.
Who was
dude.
running it? Was this OMGs or what? Like,
No,
It's a bunch
it's
of
all
one-offs.
North Idaho one-offs that had their own labs built. But
Yep.
there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in overtime for meth lab.
wow.
Yeah,
Because
people
that
taking out
vibe
meth
is
labs.
that
yeah.
vibe is not here.
Not anymore.
But up
Not
until
now.
the late 90s it was, and then they started cracking down on it, started fizzling out.
It tends to go hand in hand, unfortunately, with like lower income, working class, like that lower economic group. Unfortunately, I mean that's where it happens. Like I'm thinking of the towns I worked in California, and they're like poor towns. People tend to get into that.
But that was the
And the
words
money
that-
didn't start here until
Right. But that was the words that I heard the other night by somebody else before we even talked about this, the meth capital of the world.
Yep.
That
is
blows
not,
my mind.
And this is like, I don't want to give you any props, dude. You're going to get a weird head over there. But like
He's
you
already
guys
got- he's already
did,
got
you
a
guys
large-
had a
large head.
major change in the community as a whole. I mean, if you want to talk about how the community is developed, the reputation that it has, the ability for us to have all the things that are going on in Coeur d'Alene, a lot of that can't happen when you have high level crime or you have continual crime where people feel unsafe, right? Look at the hospitality industry. That doesn't happen somewhere where people don't feel safe.
On that team, we didn't look at it as like as kind of a hobby. We just got right to work. Next thing we know it, we're getting recognized by Boise. We didn't even know that we were hitting those milestones. Boise's up here out on TV getting awards, and we're just doing our job. We're operating business as usual.
I think there's a personality trait, and this will tie into what we all do now, where you just keep pushing.
Correct.
No matter what job it is, like, and maybe it's, we all grew up in the 80s. Maybe it's like undiagnosed ADD. I don't know. It's a superpower in my opinion. But that compulsion to hustle.
Determination.
Drive.
and you guys did it there. You know, we're both out now, and we do it in real estate, and you guys are doing it, about to start doing it, and starting to do it in the building world. And it's people that don't have that can't compete.
This is what I say. You know, there's a lot of people that watch this podcast that are former, veterans, law enforcement, first responders, and I talk to a lot of guys that have gotten out, right, like you, that were successful in their jobs.
Yes.
I have this conversation all the time. They go, the only thing I know how to do is to be a cop. The only thing I know how to do is be a fireman. I go, bro, you can teach a monkey how to be a fireman. Like, you can literally teach somebody how to follow protocols and do that stuff. But when you have somebody that you can, success leaves clues. When you look at somebody in their previous careers and you see, man, you were successful. Like, you did a really good job. You promoted. You were top tier wherever you went. That's something that follows you. And I love seeing, like, with Seth coming from CHP, Boardman, who left, Coeur d'Alene and doing the NARC task force, seeing all the things that he did. To see people come into another career and take that passion for people and be able to actually take those skills, man, if you're in law enforcement or you're a first responder or a veteran and you've been successful in that, you can be successful outside of it. You absolutely can.
I would agree with that. The hardest thing about getting out is, let's face it, cops don't have any skills that people really appreciate in the workforce. What are you going to tell them? Hey, I know how to talk to people. It's
a skill, though.
It's a skill, but you don't put that on a resume.
Right.
It's just one of those things where you have to reinvent. You have to reinvent yourself, and you have to have that grind, that determination, and that flexibility, like you do on any call or traffic stop, to go with the flow and kind of pave your way through it.
Yes.
You have to learn how to reinvent yourself.
Well, but you also have, like, problem-solving skills, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, to the next level.
100%.
Do you know how many, since I left, do you know how many law enforcement officers from different agencies have called
you?
And
yes.
said, bro, how did you get out and how did you do it? And I said, bro, you just got to put your nose down and be flexible.
Yes.
Let me reflect back. I remember being 21, 6 months out of probation, 6 months out of our field training program.
Okay. Is this the probation when you got arrested, or is this? Okay.
That one Canada trip.
Just check it. All right. I'll never forget.
I remember going to a domestic, right? You have 3 people calling 911, and there are, I would say, late 60s, male, female, no kids in the house, and they are yelling at each other. I'm 21, on the verge of turning 22. I walk in here to save the day, right? I have a nice uniform on. It's tailored. I'm fit because it's shined. Everything's good,
I've
right?
seen photos of you. I mean, fit's questionable. You were stocky.
Stocky. So anyway, I walk in and these guys are arguing, and within 30 seconds, I remember talking to let me back up. For context, we separate, right? We want to be able to hear his side versus her side, and I remember talking to the guy, and 30 seconds in, he's telling me what's happening, and I go, sir, I'm 22. I'm almost 22. I'm not even married yet. I'm not going to try to give you any marital advice on any of this stuff. And instantly gained his credibility. And he told me, he's like, hey, my wife's a hag. He says this. He goes, my wife's a hag. I don't know why. Anytime our Social Security check is a day late, she freaks out thinking we're not going to be able to pay our bills. That's all this is. But the fact that I was able just to say, hey, sir, I'm going to sit this one out. If I need marital advice, I'm probably going to come to you. You got 30, 40 years on me in marriage. Instant credibility. And I knew at that point I should probably just focus on chasing criminals. I'm not a guy. But the fact that it was instant buying from him, he's like, hey, there's nothing going on here. Yep, that was it. And 100% right.
I don't know how you did it at 21. Like, when I was 21, I was still drinking 40s with my buddies from high school.
Bro, I was a freaking
I didn't get on until I was 27.
Said that. Do I take you back to our Canada trip? We had solidified
He didn't tell you that was a condition of his probation.
He never arrested anybody for MIP. I'll tell you that.
No.
That's funny, man. That's when you brought up this being the meth capital of the world. When was it? Coeur d'Alene was labeled as the drunkest city in North Idaho.
That one I did hear.
It still is.
I think it was Idaho in general.
But it's crazy when you say that. When you say this is the drunkest
There's a
city,
big bar district.
as we're all drinking this. But
There's a big bar district.
I'm drinking
where does that
coffee.
come from? That comes from statistics. The statistics they were drawing when I looked into that were, how many DUIs do you have? Why do we have so many DUIs up here? Because we have a North Idaho DUI task force that is super aggressive downtown.
I think I alone hit 100 in 1 year.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fantastic.
However,
I don't want to brag, but I was there too.
Yeah, Betty.
However, there is a side of it that when they pull monetary income throughout the state of Idaho, and the income in Coeur d'Alene for alcohol sales is 3 times more than anywhere else in the state.
I mean,
that is
there's a resort here.
But
well, yeah.
I mean, in the defense of Coeur d'Alene, those stats are everywhere. You just don't necessarily have the police force to handle it, right? Where I worked in California, and I averaged this out one time, 1 out of every 10 stops I made was a DUI, whether it was drugs or alcohol.
Right.
And it's like they're out there.
They're out there.
People
Always.
don't even know. They're out
All
there
times
all
a day.
All day.
Morning.
Yeah. Yes.
Midday.
Oh,
Afternoon.
yeah.
Night.
Morning DUI is
Right?
crazy.
First thing in the
Dude,
morning.
those
dude.
are the best. They're like, where are you going? I'm going to work. I'm like, oh, did you sleep last night? Like, yeah.
In my car.
Like, wow, you were fucked up when you went to bed because you're a freaking 1-2.
Yeah, after 8 hours.
After 8 hours sleep, right?
exactly,
Like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
I could only imagine.
Yeah, that's a shitty day.
So Spencer, you left law enforcement.
I did.
2017?
8 years ago, I left law enforcement.
Jeez.
And
Why'd you
so-
leave?
You know,
Is that sensitive or is it good for me to ask?
law enforcement's tough on the family.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
And it's tough when your career's good, but your family's suffering. You have to make that tough decision.
Dude.
That's a hard balance, dude.
It's a tough one. I made the decision, and you know, I haven't regretted it.
Yeah.
I haven't regretted it. Once you get past that, you hang up your cape and you kind of get through that transition
Yeah.
and start doing, I called it normal people shit, right?
Yeah.
And so it's true. They're like, what are you going to do? I don't know. Go get a DUI, beat my wife? I don't know. Normal people shit. And so
Oh, my God.
it's like, what are you going to do? I don't know. Normal people shit. And so once you get past that, you decompress.
Right.
Somehow when you do it when you're 21 and you don't even know what normal life is.
You
right?
don't. Your frontal cortex is not even fully developed.
You
Not
don't
even.
know what
It's crazy.
normal life is, and so you're just watching. You're like, "What's normal?" I know what I saw when I was a cop. It's not normal. Like you just watch your friends, family. Okay, what's normal? You kind of try to get to this norm, this normal spot in life that makes sense. And it was a journey. And you kind of try to explain that to some people who are getting out. You're like, hey, just so you know, if you need to freaking call somebody, fucking call me. I'll say, hey, that's normal. Hey, that's not normal. You probably shouldn't do that. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And,
That's critical. Boardman's going. Our other partner, Eric Boardman's going through it right now. He just left 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Left the
It's
PD and came
tough.
full time with us. So he's, and every day he's like, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, it hasn't.
Yeah.
You're not there yet. Like it took me a solid year.
And I can honestly
To-
say,
to
like
transition.
like us and Boardman, we didn't give a shit about status. Like I didn't care that I was a cop. I took pride in it. I'm proud of my service. I didn't waste 1 second of my time. I left it all on the field. And so when people are like, hey, do you miss it? I'm like, no, what's there to miss?
It's a good way to look at
I
it.
fucking left it on the field, and I have zero regrets.
Yep.
And so, guys like us, it's not about the status. It's more of you miss some of the camaraderie, but the ones who are worth the shit and you keep in touch with, that's who stay with you.
Always.
So
That's huge, man.
So you think it's weird that I put my trooper hat on at night and cry myself to sleep? still?
No.
Okay,
I
just
think,
checking.
I think you
That's
did that when you
normal?
were 3. I, think
I
that's
couldn't
your
even figure out how
status
to put
quo.
that thing on with that friggin' band,
you
man.
look
It's
so stupid
terrible.
with it.
Does it slide off now? You don't have any hair? Or
Yeah,
is it-
no, I never had hair. Yeah.
No, you got a point, man, because
I was
that's
born without
hard.
hair.
Like I told John, I'm like, when I left PD, I was like, I still needed the guys, right? I still needed like that team, and that
Yep.
it was easy to go from firefighting to law enforcement. Because I left one family, I came to another. And it was like
you didn't
it
hang
was
up your
awesome.
cape. You still had your cape.
And
on.
I think that's why Boardman is doing so well, because he really did. Like we brought him into a family, right? He
Mm-hmm.
still has his guys. He still has people that are going to screw with him and,
Always.
and have a good time. And that's actually so good, because I remember being in church, and they were like, "Hey, can we have all the?" This was 2 weeks after I left. They were like, "Can we have all the first responders stand up?" And my wife's like, "Stand up." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "That's not me."
Not anymore.
And everybody's like clapping. I'm like clapping for all the guys and gals in there,
weird.
and I'm like. And I remember I left and I went into like 3 months of depression, dude, where I'm like, what am I? What is my purpose?
so tough.
And it was guys like John, dude. I told John, like, I don't get to hang out with him all the time, but it was nice when I left. And I could text John and be like, hey, man, what's up? And he would get back to me. Even if he was busy, he would shoot me like, hey, you code 4? Like, he's busy, I get it. But he would at least acknowledge. And I'm like, all right, he's still there. And so having guys like that, like I told you the other day, like Talbot and people like that still maintained contact with me, that was important.
Yes.
It's super important. In fact, I had this conversation with someone who's current in law enforcement just 2 weeks ago. Like he wants out. Like I'm so tired of this.
Yeah.
And something I always did. What I always did is my people, when they get out, I'd always check on them every 2-4 weeks. Shoot them a text. How you doing? Ultimately, what it came down to is he became one of my best friends, if not my best friend. He started his own custom home building company. And once I'm out, I still contacted him every month for years. This is for years.
Yeah.
For no reason. There's no reason other than, bro, we work together. I love you. We put our
Genuine
lives
guy.
on the line together. We went through some shit together. So many people don't do that. That once you're gone, you no longer exist.
Law enforcement's terrible at that. They give you a gun and a badge, they say thank you, and all of a sudden you're gone.
None of your friends contact you, but I'm not that guy. If you're my friend, I still contact you. Ask this guy.
Yeah.
I always contact, and so I'd always check on him.
You do find out real quick about the connections, right? I've only got a handful of people that I talk to out of the hundreds of people I knew.
You find out who's worth a shit.
Yeah.
And so I year after year, I'm contacting him, 24 times a year. And all of a sudden I'm out and I still contact him.
Yeah.
He starts this custom home building company. One day I call him up. I'm like, dude, I'm checking on you. He goes, hey, my superintendent just quit. Why don't you come work for me?
No shit. Is that? Oh, fuck.
That's my start.
That's it.
And I said, I got a really good job. Why don't you make me an offer? And he calls back a few days later on Black Friday, and I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that nameless on what company that is, but what background did you have in building homes prior to that?
0.
Okay, so this is what's so cool about it. This is why, like, when I teamed up with Seth.
When you hired me.
Shut up, dude. We all know that you're in charge. Sir, okay?
No, we're gonna set that straight one day.
What is it that he saw? Like, dude, to hire a superintendent,
right, obviously you had to
have any background.
He saw fortitude. He saw work ethic, determination, and he saw how him and I were brothers.
Yeah.
And so I said, bro, I know nothing. He goes, I will teach you in the field.
That's freaking rad.
And so he put me through college on his dime, and meaning all my fuck ups he paid for, and he'll tell you. And so after 5 years, he had me honed into he was one of the better builders if not one of the best for custom homes. And he had me right by his side by that time, and I was making decisions and building homes on my own. They never had to come even check on me from $1 million to $15 million. I was on my own, and they never had to come check on me.
How many have you done now?
I'm probably somewhere between 40 and 50 on my own.
Okay, that's a freaking lot.
And that's over 5 years.
Yep.
And to go back to that, he was a former cop, right? And so when I left law enforcement, it's a transition, and there's some anxiety. And you have those emotional scars, I hate the term PTSD because it sounds like such a crutch, but it's a real thing.
PTS.
It's
not a disorder unless you drink a lot.
It's
David, can you hand me the tequila?
It's true. And so
it's gone.
And so
God damn it.
And so there was one thing that when he asked me to work for him and with him, once I was in his office, I was calm. Like you guys, like you've been battle buddies, you've been through hell and back. And all of a sudden, you're with each other. You're not working. He's running the business. I'm running the field.
Yeah.
But being in the same room in the same company, all of a sudden I was calm. And that's the value that we bring each other, is when you have that connection. You calm me. You don't have to talk about anything.
Yes.
You know what's neat?
You just bring that calm.
When you have felons shooting at you, and you have things falling apart, and you have life or death, when you break a beam in a house or a truss, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not a big deal. It's replaceable.
You know what I've learned through my years of construction is that anything that's ruined in construction can be fixed.
Yes.
Whether it's dirt
Anything.
work, whether it's a truss, whether it's shingles, anything can be fixed.
Yep.
And you're 100% right. It's how you handle that stress. Unless bullets are flying at you, it's really not that big of a deal. It's another 3 days for the lumber yard to deliver that product so that you can get it reinstalled.
It's like what you tell your children before they go out at night, right? Don't create life, don't take life. Those are the only two things that you're worried about. And so, I mean,
I'm not even having that conversation yet, bro.
But I'm just saying, there's two things, two rules. Don't create life, don't take life. Those are the impacts, right? That you can't take back.
That's the shit you can't fix.
You can't fix. Everything else is fixable.
The second one's subjective.
That's a good way. Yeah.
The second one's subjective. This is North Idaho.
This is North Idaho.
Like touching on, being calm in a room together. I think that having that trust of your partners, that is everything. I mean, we have that in our team, all of us. And you're right. Like I go into that room and I'm at peace. And we fight. Like Dave and I fight literally every day.
Dude,
but I love him like a brother, and right, like I would do anything. For
I would
him.
stab my brother.
Almost anything for. Yeah, I mean you can. No, but then you'd heal me. You're a paramedic. I mean it's fine.
You
know
the cool thing about me and John, we've been working together for 23 years.
Yes.
We've never fought once, and we've both said "fuck you" to each other, And we're like, okay, yeah, all right, let's
Cool.
go back to work.
I deserve that.
We've
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
ever, ever.
Are you talking about physical fights?
No, we've never argued.
Oh, okay. Oh, we argue.
No, but we just haven't. Like,
We argue.
we've worked in close quarters. We've worked on teams.
do we have a
Him and I
toxic
have
relationship?
no.
I think I.
No, it's
I
just-
think I told you I was going to kill you one time.
did.
So
I believed you.
I think the foundation is this: both our families are from Idaho.
Yeah.
We both have 3 brothers, no sisters.
Right.
And we were just raised in the same environment. We both started at 21. And honestly, we don't have egos towards each other.
I was an only child, dude. I didn't know how to express
shows,
my
Dave.
emotions.
It
He's,
shows.
he's deeply
I had a
disturbed,
rat.
Yeah.
His name was Splinter.
rat.
Like that's a
Was it
legit
hairless?
story. I had a
Hairless
no.
rat?
I had a pet rat named Splinter,
So
dude.
this,
That's
and he
legit.
had a rat tail. So this is what I'm dealing with. Like, I mean,
It's funny. I grew up with 2 brothers. If you had conflict, it was just you punch each other
Yeah.
and then you move
That's
on.
it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to have a legit conversation. I feel bad by saying this on the record with my wife, knowing who she is, but until I had a daughter, right? Because she asked why for everything. And I was raised under the guise of because I said so, right?
Right,
But
same.
that doesn't fly
Doesn't
for
teach
daughters,
anything.
right? It doesn't teach
No.
anything. And I'm a why guy myself. I truly want to know why. So you're a poor leader if you can't explain to me why. But also, my daughter asks why all the time. And I've learned, like, it's okay. Not everybody needs punched in the face.
yeah.
I'll explain to my daughter why, and I want her to I want to be able to face the world and conquer everything, just like
absolutely.
anybody
No,
else.
conflict is huge, man. And like
Conflict resolution.
I
Conflict
think
resolution's huge.
I think I like a little bit of animation with stuff. Like we tell each other all the time.
You're
I
a
go,
drama queen. Yeah.
I'd love to. Yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna tell him, fuck you, then I'm gonna do it on a high level and just make it big. But he knows. I've told him 1,000 times. I don't know how many times we've had disagreements. I'm like, bro, when the clock checks out, like we're good.
And honestly,
We're
Dave,
gonna
I've
go.
seen you do
Yeah.
that, and you're good at it. As soon as 5 o'clock hits, it's 5 o'clock
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's
you
what
guys
it
are
is.
homies
we
hanging.
hug and we're good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's
Some
awesome.
whiskey comes out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tequila.
That's what time we started today. 5 o'clock.
We did. Actually.
I don't think you have a successful organization unless there's conflict. There's no way you can be successful if everybody in the same room and agrees. And if
Checks and balances, right?
and if you all agree on the same thing, you're in the wrong room.
I'm not
that
saying
one's
that.
good.
I'm not saying that me and John have not had conflict. What I'm saying
I would
is
agree with
we
you.
have good conflict resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we disagree all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, you
But
you
we
should.
listen to each other. And we're
If
like,
you-
okay, I'll try that.
If you guys are on the same page with every single thing that you do, there's a
not.
problem.
We're not.
It's like when I say, dude, if everybody loves Spencer Mortenson, there's something you're doing wrong, dude. You're appeasing too many people.
Yeah.
You need to have some people that go like, you know what?
Not
I
everybody
don't.
loves Spencer Mortenson. so
No,
you don't have to
and
worry
that's
about
fine. You know, the first time I actually had a genuine conversation with him, and I don't know if you like knew me or knew of me, but it was actually at the fairgrounds. Do you remember this?
No.
I don't know, dude.
Oh,
he-
did I yell that one thing?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
I
sitting
yelled-
there, and I'm walking around, and I hear Dr. Faggot,
No.
paging Dr. Faggot, and I'm like, yes, and I'm like, who's calling me that? And he's like,
He
what's
looked.
up,
Though.
dude? And I'm like,
he looked.
I did, I 100% looked.
He
I'm like,
looked.
who's calling me right now? And it was
For the
like-
record of the podcast, that's a quote from a movie, The Hangover.
It was. I know. I'm like, who's this guy freaking calling me
That's-
this, dude? Like,
Yeah.
it was pretty fun.
But
I would
said
venture
it
to guess,
twice, and he's
Spencer-
like, yes.
I would venture to guess, Spencer, in Dave's defense, I bet multiple people looked because not many people go.
I
around
don't think
screaming
so,
that.
dude.
No,
I think
no
everybody else
one
just kept
else
walking.
looked.
I think I was
No
the
one
only
else
one that was
looked.
like,
Nope, not
what
me.
is happening?
No.
He's definitely not talking to me.
In fact,
I'm
I
sorry, I
saw
can't
people
defend
look
you,
down
Dave.
and shake their like, I'm not looking.
I gotta learn not to look, dude. I can't do
defend
that.
you, Dave. I try to defend you.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry.
No one else
Whatever.
looked, but he was like, "What's up, bro?"
That's glorious.
Holy
Hey,
shit.
Spencer.
That is glorious.
That was funny.
It was good, and it was the concert night. So we're down in the pit,
Concert in the dirt.
and he wasn't close. It was far. And I
Yeah,
was
he
like-
yelled it. So I had to do it from back here to give you guys an idea.
Oh my goodness.
He's like,
It was pretty
"What's your
funny.
name?"
Getting back to the team thing, I mean, this is what I'm excited about having you guys as a part of this whole thing because most of our clientele, as you guys are out there listening, first responders, veterans, and the trust,
Good people.
the immediate trust that we have both ways, and we benefit from that when we can trust our clients, right? Because we've done other lead generation sources that we cannot trust, and it's frustrating. But when we can, Zillow sucks. When we can immediately trust the people that are calling us, because we're investing our time, we're investing our
Yes.
energy, our emotions into our clients as well, right? We ride the roller coaster with them. So when that trust goes both ways, it's fucking huge.
Well,
it's
what
beautiful.
You said roller coaster when you're
Yeah.
building a home.
It's a roller coaster.
There's an
too.
emotional roller coaster that's
I'm riding
proven, and there's a chart on that.
Yeah.
Where there's highs when you're super excited,
Yeah.
and then when something takes longer or it's a long process, your low hits because
The end of
you're not
framing
seeing
is
Permitting.
a high.
Permitting.
permitting. Framing, but when you're doing drywalling, it takes 6 weeks because there's drying and hanging and scrapping
Digging the
out.
foundation when we keep finding shit that was buried under the old house that was built in 1940.
Yeah, you
Pizza
keep
boxes
digging,
and
and we
stuff.
have to keep
Keep
digging.
digging.
Dude, like
I
there
know
was
this isn't a builder's conversation, but I think you should outline, without negativity, how many times that Spencer would make you go back and have somebody fix something.
Keep
Because
digging.
We didn't
Yeah.
have
How
our
many times did I say
excavation
keep
office do
digging?
that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm glad you did
Yeah,
because
100%.
even now, like, we found one more little pocket and it's like, it's not much, but had we not, there would have been a shit ton of
Right.
stuff. And it was like old insulation, old trim. I don't even know.
But it all
was
comes down to
100
doing
years
it,
old.
It's all come down to doing it the right way.
Doing it
The
right.
right
100%.
way.
The right way.
Regardless of friendships, regardless of business partners,
And I'm-
we are going to
yeah,
do it the
and I'm
right
glad
way
you did.
as it was ours.
Did I get pissed at you a few times? Yeah. But then
Yeah.
ultimately, I'm like, no, that's dumb. Like, if this house does not have a stable foundation, everything else fails.
I felt you doubting.
Yeah.
I really did. And
I
I
did.
wasn't offended. I was just like,
Yeah.
I know better.
You kicked my ass. I'm glad you did.
I see what I see, my experience based off of what my buddy taught me and my experience in all my builds. We need to keep digging.
Yeah.
And
And I know you pissed off the excavator, and I don't you know,
I-
it is what it is. Like, I don't care. I
he's
think it
getting
has to be
paid.
done right.
He's getting
yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
Keep digging.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're going to do it right, and we're going to make sure that your the foundation's where everything starts.
Yeah.
And if you get the foundation right, everything from there,
I mean, that's a metaphor in life,
starts.
bro. Yeah.
right?
Always.
So this is what's neat is that we're just starting all this. I love the fact like you guys got your shirts now, we got the name, everything else, and so people know too. Like, I love the fact. I'll be honest. I love the fact that I'm not an owner of your business, and that Seth isn't as well. Because I think it's important that there's a little bit of separation with those things so that you guys have the ability to be autonomous with what you're doing and you can be experts at what you're doing. I'm not a builder, right? Like, it's awesome to team up with people, and that's what makes me really excited because I love seeing people around me that are being successful. But the fact that you guys can do this now is actually, it's really neat. You guys got 5 projects going on right now.
That's good.
And we haven't even started
already.
it. Yeah.
We have 7.
And right before this podcast,
You know how this started? You know how this started?
what's that?
So I'm building,
This is glorious.
and he calls me, like, bro, I want to build a house.
You know what? I know that you're telling the truth right now because he started with bro.
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 And I'm like,
That was John.
I was like, look, I'm super busy, but what I'll do is I'll guide you over the phone. I'll give you my subs. I'll give you my process. You call me anytime. I'll set a schedule for you. You call my guys, they show up immediately. And
Yeah.
what do they do, John?
They showed up immediately.
The next day. And so, because I've been working with these guys for 5 years, and I have a very good relationship with my subs that I've had for 5 years. They're fantastic and they're talented.
Yep.
And so, and you're not the only person. My parents, your parents, have had water issues. I say, call him. He'll come right away. How long did it take him to get there?
Is that cheap?
1.5 hours.
Is that cheap to have people that are good at that?
No, well, it's a relationship where you explain, I treat you right, you treat me right.
Reciprocity.
If we're both making money, it's a great relationship. And
But it's
so
one of those things-
there's no gouging there.
Yeah. I think that if people are good at what they do, though, they earn their wage.
They definitely
sure.
earn your wage. You don't bottom dollar them. You can't do that and expect top quality. And so he calls me and I'm like, okay, call these people and tell them I sent you. And all of a sudden he's up and running, right? He's got a great framer. He's got great everything going on, and he builds this beautiful cabin on the back.
It's not a cabin.
But all your subs did it, right? He told me he built it. That's what he said.
He
I
did,
built.
he did. Sorry,
I
John.
built a cabin.
John,
he didn't do anything, did he?
John built that with his own two hands.
Well, let me
Can
explain.
we stop calling it a cabin?
Sorry. It is
I
a.
don't know.
It's
I helped
a-
to build it. And I haven't been
It's
invited.
a
yet. I don't even know.
4,500
It's a
square foot
cabin.
house that
Yeah.
overlooks the lake.
So there were some other builders for law enforcement that I tried to capitalize on.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else was getting stuff built. They get too busy, and I'm a type A guy. I fully understand that. So when you outline expectations with a builder and you say, hey, just so you know, if I have a question, if you could at least get back to me within 10 days, that's all I ask. I'm happy. I know I'm a type A guy, but if I have a question, I need an answer. That's how I'm wired. That's how the world goes around.
10
if I ask
days?
You, 10 days. That was my expectation outline.
That's generous.
I thought so.
Yes.
But also I know I'm very type A. Normally I want it back in 5 minutes, but also I recognize that's not always plausible. With that, 1 month into my build contract with this specific builder, I had 2 questions. Do you need anything for the permitting? 2 days goes by, I get an answer. No. Is there anything else I can help you with, or do you need anything from our excavator who's doing the build? 33 days go by and I don't have an answer.
Dude.
So I call 4 days later, trying to outline stuff happens in life. Maybe he's busy, maybe there's family stuff going on. I was biting my tongue for 4 days,
I would lose my
asking for an
mind.
answer. Thank you, because that's how I'm wired.
Yeah.
Knowing that after the 5th time of not getting a call back within the 10-day period, I'm like, fuck this, dude. This is absolutely ridiculous. And if we're already having these problems prior to the build starting, I am not doing it. So I said, finally, I'm going to do it myself. I knew nothing about building. I have a little bit of a construction background because my dad did cement for 40 years. But he did cement. That's it. Foundations, flat slabs, all of that kind of stuff.
His dad wears my fire shirt at the gym.
He
every
does.
day.
I don't know
I gave him an
why.
old fire
Pretty
shirt.
cool.
I don't know why he likes Dave, but he found
yeah,
something
strange,
in Dave that he
but
enjoys.
yeah.
Yes.
Pity.
He was looking for
probably.
another son.
Yeah, I think he truly was.
A fourth.
I think he's actually looking for a daughter, but
Well, there you go.
but anyway, to me it made me so frustrated that if I'm spending this amount of money to build a house or a cabin or whatever you guys truly want to call it, I expect an answer back, and it pissed me off. And I'm like, that is such bullshit.
That's
so I'm like,
insane.
I'm gonna do it myself. I didn't know shit about it. I learned about the permitting process. I had some really good buddies that are legit builders in town that I was able to use as confidants and use as resources to help me through the process. I get all the process done, and then it all comes down to, can you build your own house? Yeah, of course you can. Is it quality? Not unless you have relationships with subs. I knew Spencer had already built those. I had some of my own subs that I wanted to use that were buddies that a lot of people do.
Yep.
Getting people to show up on time the day they say they were, unless you have these relationships built like Spencer did, that shit doesn't happen. That's not realistic. How do you say, I'm going to build your foundation, I'll be done in 72 hours, and then when reality sets in, you got to dig this out, or there's all this extra shit that happens, right? I got to move this, or the cement truck or the pump truck was late. You can't control all of reality. So the fact that Spencer had these subs that would truly show up Monday morning at 0800 to get all their shit done and they were dialed, it was a no-brainer to me after I built my own that, fuck, this is the guy that if I feel like I'm wasting energy, I'm wasting time in life by not capitalizing on the subs that he has, because he's already came from all of this. He has all the intimate knowledge, and I don't mind doing the permitting process and the numbers, and we just have capitalized on it. And although you say 5 to 7, it doesn't really matter how many are our original process, because I want my Percy, I want my retirement from law enforcement. Our ultimate goal was to build, 1 or 2 a year. And the fact that it's already evolved to 7 without any advertising is just truly based off of the subs and the communication or the context that we'd already established. Yeah. So to us, it's glorious and we love it, although it's a lot of work.
You know what's a bummer too is that we talk about the pension trap all the time.
Oh yeah,
It's a pension trap.
Coming from law enforcement and fire, I remember my captain, Wayne Thompson. So he retired back in 2012, I think. And I remember he retired with a full retirement, right? 30 years, all this stuff. And down in California, you got good retirements. We have a private, we're not even
insurance.
We're not
no
CalPERS, right? Yeah. So we're actually private retirement, SB Sarah. One of the best retirement agencies, private retirement agencies in the state. So he retires off of them in 2012. And I remember him telling me he's getting $5,900 a month for the rest of his life. Oh my gosh.
Plus,
right, exactly.
Plus insurance.
Yes, but no insurance.
No insurance.
No medical.
That does not create the lifestyle
that's
most
you
want.
Now, right? Then when he retired in 2012 with $5,900
that was
a month,
good money.
It was. And we were like,
money.
God dang, dude, he's hooking up. So he's getting 3% COLA every year. 3% COLA at $5,900 a month when you have a 12% actual COLA happening in the country.
Houses cost $125,000
Now, do you know what he does? He's like, dude, he goes, I'm on
working?
fixed income and I'm working.
Yep.
I'm teaching at a fire academy. I'm doing those things. And I'm like, that sucks, dude. I thought you had the golden ticket with a public safety retirement.
That is another reason why I had no problem leaving. Because why would I do 30 years? Why would I risk my life 30 years for the community to have to go work as a laborer or wherever I fit in at the time in my life, because I'm going to be in my 50s,
right?
For another 20 years.
Honestly, Costco though, I would work Costco. I'd be badass.
That's
I'd be the best greeter at Costco.
Of yours.
You would be fantastic.
I would be amazing. I even have a Costco hat.
But where's the gratitude in that? Why
Costco,
do I have to
keep
badass? Why do I have to keep working after 30 years of risk in my life and all the trauma and drama that I've been through?
Right.
I don't want to have to keep working.
Well, you guys, I hate to bring this up. whole reason law enforcement now gets a good pension is because your life expectancy is not long.
It's 5 years.
That is sad. That is exactly why they are willing to, as a business, hook you up with a good pension because they know you will not live
We
long.
just had a sergeant who passed away this last year. He was a fantastic man. He was a chief of police once upon a time. He was awesome. He was only retired maybe 5 years, and he had 36 years in.
Right.
Lived less than 5 years after retirement, passed away.
It's crazy, dude.
It's crap.
Sad.
But even when you look at how inflation works and stuff, if you are one of those lucky people that's retired for 20 years, where are you financially in 20 years?
Yeah, who knows?
Like if I was taking what is it, 2025? If I was taking a 2005 retirement right now, where would I be?
You'd be working Costco, dude.
100%. I'm still
Sad.
badass at Costco.
Nothing against Costco.
Nothing against Costco. Costco, I love you.
Yeah,
I love your rotisserie
I will
chickens.
manage Costco one day.
Costco is the only business that required people to wear masks up here. So let me just put that.
That's
out
fair
there.
too. Because
maybe I love you, but at the same time,
I love you post.
yeah.
That's why I don't eat at
Post-COVID.
Red Robin anymore. Any of those places. I mean,
Post,
they're
I
all.
love you.
Yeah, I don't eat those places anyways. But.
Not that we're trying to talk anybody out of that career field because it's important that people do it. But but just know that if you've hit the limit where you're like, I don't love this anymore, and I'm waiting for retirement, and I've got 15 years left. That was a random number I picked out of my head. I promise.
Years,
I promise that was a random number.
It's like set in stone.
So let's go back real quick. Let's go back to how this started. Because he finishes his house. And all of a sudden, and anybody who knows John
his cabin
can relate to this.
Bro,
all of a sudden
John.
he's like this little boy in a sandbox with two Tonka trucks going, gush, bro, let's go build some houses. And I'm like, bro, I'm tired. I don't know if I want to anymore. And month after month, he's like, let's keep building, bro. And I'm like, bro,
Dude, I had to twist Spencer's arm.
do you have your own excavator?
Yes.
That's a dream of mine.
Yes.
He started a plowing company.
What?
Yeah, IRS, if you're watching, he started the plowing company to dodge the IRS.
No.
Okay, he bought a skip. I'm like, you're not going to remove that. Yeah, John's, or what did you call it?
Hang on. Let me
JC
let me
snow
get
removal?
let me
You
get
didn't remove
context.
shit.
Plow?
You guys all know, everybody in here has been in law enforcement. The presidential elect can truly change how our nation law enforcement, right? How we totally enforce the law. One president
Obama
freaked me out to the point where I was like, I need to look for an out because everybody's going to lose qualified immunity and everybody's going to get indicted.
Because Washington was already there.
And you guys, everybody knows, bad guys fight, bad guys shoot at you, regardless of race, age, religion, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. Bad guys are bad guys. They're going to do whatever they can to get away. And the only way to arrest a bad guy is to use force, right?
Yes.
And like it is worrisome in law enforcement. And if you're a meat-eating cop that goes after rapists, child molesters, homicide suspects, you are going to use force.
You're vegan.
Whether it's deadly force, whether it's not deadly force but almost reaches the threshold, I was scared with our president-elect. And I'm
So
like,
you went out and you bought a cat, and then you went around and told me, like, check out my cool cat sweatshirt
I did.
and my cat cooler they
Listen,
gave me.
all I can tell you is if you buy a $50,000 cat skid steer, they throw in a sweatshirt.
And
Yeah.
a cooler.
That's told
That's
me.
cool.
That's it.
Hey,
That's
that's a good
it.
deal.
Yeah, it is. It is
really
great
cool.
deal.
And then you hear him talk about it for 10 years.
I know.
So wait. You have a skid steer also?
No, Seth, I had to sell that.
Oh, you got rid of it?
Sorry. I'm
I did.
sorry you had to sell
The
that.
snow removal's over, huh?
Seth, I have a.
But you still have an excavator.
I do have an excavator.
Okay, can I borrow it?
You could borrow it.
Why do you look away?
If you
from
want to come, I need somebody. Hey,
Down and left. I
He's
look
all
down and left.
deflated.
can you park my Can you park your excavator at my house this year?
What do you mean?
I got to move
No,
snow this
I
year. I
just
don't
got-
have anything yet.
It's not for moving snow.
Dude,
I'm going to tell the IRS about your freaking shady thing that you
Call
did.
him. Call him. Tell him to come over. I think you guys should post
get some.
Here's a building funny story real quick because we're on the topic. Eric Boardman was a sergeant. He was a stud cop. He was a meat eater.
He was the
a drug
fucking man,
cop.
dude.
He was
Yeah.
good.
He was my
I give him
FTO, and
credit.
me and him were like you two. Like it was chaos in that car.
I could only imagine. No different than this podcast. Eric Boardman was the man. He was a drug hound, meat-eating cop. He is the first person in Idaho that starts an opiate task force because he got sick of going to fentanyl deaths. And I'm not kidding you. There was this time where this bad batch of fentanyl came through where there was probably this 3-month period. People would ultimately fentanyl is a powder form, right? Or pill. People put it on top of tin foil. They would light it for the ignition source,
Jesus dragon.
melt it, and they would suck the fumes in. And there was this bad batch for, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks where that first initial second hit, that people were
20-year-olds.
inhaling this, they were literally dead
Done.
within 30
I had a
seconds.
really good friend whose son.
Fuck.
I'm not kidding you.
Devastating.
I don't know how many times in patrol as a sergeant working.
When was this? Was this when I was on?
2021.
Yeah,
Because
would
I
think
remember
so.
a bad batch where
I
we
would
lost
say
like
That was
3 or
that was
4
about
20.
2021, wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
was
we lost
bad.
about 3 or 4 20-year-olds that
Yeah.
week, and I remember that.
Yep.
You're saying a week. You're saying
Yes.
7 day. I don't know how many times that we would go to calls for service where people would still have the paraphernalia in their hand and dead right there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whoever prevented naloxone or Narcan literally have saved so many people's lives because we would show
Invented
up.
or prevented?
Is invented.
I think
Sorry.
you meant to say invented.
I meant to say invented. Whoever invented that drug, I don't know which company, but props to you because they've saved many family members' lives.
Yeah.
It's to the point now where our cops, I think, regardless of whether you're having a heart attack or you're 90 years old, you're probably going to get Narcan because it has saved so many lives. They don't know how to bifurcate the difference of it is an opioid.
It's like Windex. It cures everything.
Dude.
So I think no matter what, if you're dead and a police officer shows up, they're going to probably Narcan you, regardless of your age
So
or wherever you're at. But
When I was a medic and we had cops on scene, like there's a difference in how much Narcan you get. It's a competitive antagonist. I know you guys don't know what that is because you played
you're
football,
fancy.
but
You're
anyways.
Fancy language, David.
Anyways, but anyways, you would put that in there. Sorry, non-competitive. So if you gave it to somebody, it would bind to all the receptors, and depending on how much morphine you had, it would take you out. So typically we would do, a lot of times 1 milligram. Sometimes we do 2, and we kind of get them to that point where they wake up.
based off of squirts or how do you?
No, I was doing
judge?
IV.
Okay.
I was doing IV, right? So we'd get there and somebody would have freaking ice in their crotch and
Yes.
and their armpits, and their friends were like, I don't know what they did. I'm like, how'd they get ice in their armpits and crotch? I don't know. So
that
anyways,
way.
I was the medic that if we had cops on scene, dude, I'd slam them with like 8. I'd hit them with a bunch, and they'd come out of that thing like a freaking raging bull, dude, and there'd be a fight that ensued.
Oh, they wake up and you're like,
let's go!
Are you in my house?
Yeah. Oh, just nuts. I mean, immediately it was over. The high was like, it wasn't just like, oh, waking up. No, it was gone. It was like they never had it, and they would go nuts.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing to watch.
gotta be a weird
Dave,
feeling.
it is the most magical drug I've ever seen. I've literally seen many 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 14 sad,
Ugh.
really sad,
Yeah.
with their parents.
Instant results.
Yep.
No pulse, dead, blue on the ground. As soon as you Narcan them, literally they jump up like it's the craziest drug I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Wow.
It is nutty. It doesn't have a long half-life, but it is
You're
something
over my
that's.
head.
It
We
gives you-
literally,
it
if you
gives
have
you
a
a fi-
nostril, you're getting 2 squirts.
gives you a
regardless if
fighting
you're in
chance.
law
See, this is like, I know, I love it.
I
Anyways, let me
get it.
talk
We're
to you
not-
guys about the physiology. No.
Yeah, we're not medically trained. Regardless if you're in an old folks' home, you're getting Narcan if our law enforcement shows up, or if you're
Dude,
70.
this
you
guy
guys
goes
just-
to funeral with Narcans.
God. Are you like testing it on people? You're like,
No, it's not.
no,
a
yeah, no, they're legit dads.
He's like,
That's it.
He's like, babe, it didn't work.
I feel like I need that in my kit every
Dude.
day.
No,
I have
you're
some at
not
home.
Sophia guy.
Hook me up, dude. I've actually never Narcan
When you
anybody.
went to Mexico, I forgot to tell you, I
Wait,
wanted
when
to
did
put
I go
together.
to Mexico?
Or no, you got a bunch of stuff from Mexico.
Colombia. That
Colombia,
sounds
whatever.
shady. When
Next
I
time
say
you
that.
guys go, I want to put together a medic kit, dude. I want to have like diphenhydramine and epinephrine and Narcan and all that shit. If I can get all those
didn't
things.
say
French
all
or
that.
something.
I
What's
could have
up?
got you that.
Yeah, but for that sounds like a crazy trip.
Yeah, it does.
I did not go. I had a friend that went, and he brought me back. This sounds terrible. Antibiotics, basically. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
all. That's all.
Antibiotics.
Just
Fair.
antibiotics.
I want other stuff.
Antibiotics.
Among other stuff.
Amongst other stuff.
Yeah. Some ivermectin, which you can get over the counter.
You
in
sleep
Idaho
really
now.
well, don't you?
I sleep great. Some Xanax, all the stuff. Yeah, it's all legal. Yeah, no,
Ivermectin. Yep.
ivermectin. You can get that over the counter here. I don't know how readily available it is, but it's legally over the counter in Idaho now.
All right.
Which is cool. Yeah.
Good.
Anywho, moving on. How did we get on fentanyl?
That guy.
Oh,
Yeah, we're talking
that
law
happens.
enforcement. And
Anytime
Boardman,
see, that's
Boardman,
the thing.
there we go.
Anytime we podcast with Boardman, no matter what, if we're talking about fucking My Little Pony, we get onto fentanyl every
Honestly,
time. Like,
he
loves
was a
it.
street monster.
That's how we
with
got
it.
But he has
did
a
good
passion
job.
for it,
He
dude.
does,
Like those
man.
guys go out
Yes.
and they actually affect change. That's what I hate when people are like, oh, cops, they're freaking brutality, all this stuff. And it's like, hold on. You got guys out there that are actually trying to change society and actually trying to save people's lives. Like his motivation behind that was 100% righteous to get that going.
I can honestly
and
say
he's
that a
good.
dope cop is a special breed.
Yeah.
And that your coworkers on your shift and whoever else, they don't understand you.
Right.
It is something that you encounter that they're like, how'd you do that? You
It's like combining autism and ADD. It's a superpower.
It really
super
is.
Focus. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know how many times that I brought my loot into the report room to start processing all the evidence and And they're like, "How'd you do that?" And I'd be like, "Effort," you know.
Yeah. Effort. Meanwhile, when you're a child, you're the kid that's lining all of his little cars up in a fucking perfectly straight line.
Yeah.
You're that guy. It's okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But it's a certain personality.
Takes all types.
And you're kind of a loner amongst your shifts sometimes.
You're right. You're the outcast.
You're the outcast because you're not shagging all the calls.
And you'll get shit for that too, right? Because
they're like, you're
understand
selfish.
that.
I'm not
Seth,
selfish.
When we started our community action team, we had so much animosity and so much contention.
Oh, you're not fucking taking calls.
You're right. And we
What
thought
makes you
we were
different?
doing we thought we were doing God's work, right? We were putting bad people in jail that are literally committing crimes in Coeur d'Alene. I think that first year we arrested
340 felonies.
Damn.
That's a lot.
Amongst
that
two
is a
cars.
lot.
Two cars.
And
for
those out there, Coeur d'Alene's not a huge city.
Let me give perspective. The fishing hole was very easy back then. You could literally drive down the street. I don't know how many times we'd have a felon in the back seat for whether unlawful possession of a firearm or committed a felony, and we would be on our way to the jail, and you'd see another one, and we'd stop and snatch them up, and we'd literally
you know what we had to do
felons in the car.
The second year up, you know what we had to do? We had to go to neighboring towns.
Like dip into Post Falls.
We had to start getting FID numbers and go to neighboring towns.
So
they're like, "What are you doing over here?"
Laugh. We
true,
call
right?
problem-oriented policing. Dave, you hit it when we originally started. Traditional policing, a crime occurs, somebody in your city is victimized, and that's old school policing. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah. Our philosophy is problem-oriented policing, where our whole job is to prevent crime from occurring because we don't want somebody victimized, right? To the point where we hammered crime so bad that they would hit all these neighboring cities, and he's right. We'd have to have these federal nexuses to go hammer them so that we could displace them even further. You can't arrest your way out of every crime or every situation, but you can displace people. You make them so uncomfortable that they don't want to sell drugs in your community because they know we're going to come out there.
But we also made the community a huge partner in that.
Right.
Huge.
That's a big deal.
Huge partner.
You got
but they would actually, we had the buy-in, we had the relationship, and we had the community actually reaching out to us, be like, "Hey, this house is a problem." Next thing we know, there's a bear cat in the front yard running over their fence.
I love these stories,
and you poke
dude.
your M4 through the window. There's John with this guy with a meth pipe in his hand, and John's like, "What's up, bro?" You know,
you're going to jail.
Hey, bro,
all because the community is reaching out to us saying, "We know you exist. We appreciate you. We need some results."
So that's the difference, right? When you go to, California, Oregon, Washington, you don't have communities that are supporting their police officers.
No, you get the middle finger everywhere you drive.
Right? To have people that's supporting you when you guys go out and do that, that's paramount.
You guys, our backup SWAT team, Spokane City, there's only... Bearcats are police armor. They're bullet-resistant vehicles, right? They're not bulletproof. They're bullet-resistant. At some point, that armor will fail. So I don't know how many times I've testified in court where the defense attorney's like, "Well, why did you shoot my client?" And I'm like, "Well, he shot at our officers who were in a bullet-resistant vehicle." And they're like, "Well, I thought it was bulletproof." And I'm like, "Nothing's bulletproof. You shoot that enough, bullets are going to penetrate." And sorry, I don't want to be the guy standing behind the Bearcat that tells you, "Hey, at bullet 17, it's going to penetrate because I can no longer testify because I'm dead." Right?
How did John die? He was in a Bearcat.
Yeah, exactly. He's
He's
trying to build this this resume for you guys to say at bullet 17 with this round, you no longer exist. That's not reality, right? So anyway, we take armor over to Spokane and they bring it over back and forth, right? Because a Bearcat's generally $480,000 to $500,000. It's a lot for agencies to buy. We are very fortunate. We have a command staff that supports us and they value our life. We have 3 Bearcats. Sometimes, I know it sounds excessive, but it's still not enough. Here's why I say that. You could have 1 Bearcat on the front of a house. Prior to us having a second Bearcat, that means all the officers or SWAT guys on the front of the house are safe, but you have to contain a house, right? If a suspect leaves out the back door and you don't have containment back there, he's gone, and now he's a community problem instead of just at a barricade problem for our officers. So now we have a piece of armor in the back of the house. So I can shoot at you at the front of the house if you have armor, and if you don't have armor in the back of the house, I can shoot at you and potentially you're dead, right? So we have 2 pieces of armor, but sometimes, you do multiple raids because there's a huge drug problem that has multiple structures that are selling drugs. You can't take down one without snitching out the other. So you do multiple raids, you have to have multiple pieces of armor. Where I'm going with that is we take our armor over to Spokane quite a bit. They have a lot of problems over there, probably more than us, I would say. I think everybody in here would venture to say that's safe.
Probably more than us.
When we send a Bearcat, into somebody's house, we get applause from the neighbors behind us because they are fed up with the criminal activity.
And you mean literally into
somebody's house.
I saw it happen on my house. You did it to my house.
You go to Spokane, everybody and their mom is filming
Seth,
you.
What we did to your house is exactly what we did to the house that I just described.
We go to Spokane, we bring armor there. Everybody and their mom is more focused on the cops than the criminal activity that's occurring, which is very sad. It is a community problem that needs to be resolved.
I will say this about Coeur d'Alene, and this may sound negative on the front end, but there was results. Up until a certain point, the community did not support us for several years.
100%.
And then a traumatic and tragic incident happened, which was Greg Moore.
Yep.
Post Greg Moore, this community had been so supportive of law enforcement. They still are. But prior to that, they shit on cops as any chance they could. I can't even, am I right?
Yeah, 100%.
But post Greg Moore, all of a sudden, everybody's light bulb turned on. The whole community rallied around, and they've been fantastic ever since.
Yeah.
But pre
that's
Greg
all
Moore,
I've known.
Interesting.
Pre Greg Moore, it wasn't like that. You stepped out of your car and stepped to the left instead of the right. You got to call a complaint.
Interesting.
Always.
You know what's crazy too? When I tested for Coeur d'Alene PD back in 2015.
Wow.
I tested in May of 2015. Okay, like
he didn't pass.
I think it was June.
I was on your oral board, dude. I said no.
You did no, and you said yes. You were on my oral board, weren't you? No, you weren't. So, anyways, I tested back in 2015. I was also testing for captain at the same time down in San Bernardino, and it actually hit me. It was pretty crazy. I think it was in June that I came up here. I tested for Coeur d'Alene PD. I was in backgrounds with McLeod, and I remember I was like, I don't want to burn this bridge just in case things happen down the road. And I ended up calling him. I said, hey, you know what? I had to make a decision between taking this job and taking a job as a captain and promoting over here. So I'm gonna go with this, right? I wish I didn't. I wish I would have been up here in 2015, but it was something that I thought about too when I started looking at law enforcement. I was like, Greg was just shot, right? I mean, it just happened a month or two before I got up here to test. And when I was going back, it hit me and it made me think, I'm like, I'm testing for a position that just opened up because a guy was shot and killed. And I remember thinking about that going, is this a job that I want to do? Like, is this something that I want to do? I'm actually testing for a guy's position, not his directly, right? But there's a position right now because somebody is dead in that community. And it was tough, dude. It actually hit me. And I was like, I think even at that time, I mean, I was in comfort mode, right? Like I was promoting in my old department. I was I knew what I was doing. I was, that was all comfortable. I had already sealed the deal with all of that. So it actually made me kind of step back and be like, I'm not sure this is right for me. Yeah. But from that time in 2015 until I started in 2019, you guys started CAT in 2015, right? 2016.
Yes, yep.
In those 3 years, it was a completely different environment than when I came up here in law enforcement.
100%.
It took the loss of one of the best dudes we ever knew.
Yep.
Like Greg was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Good fucking dude. And we, all of us, we both have fantastic memories with that guy. It took the loss of him to turn the corner in the community. And anybody who was at the PD at that time felt it. It was unfortunate, but such a good fucking dude. But the community took a corner. They turned a corner in that, and all of a sudden we got the support, like crazy support.
You know what's sad is you guys have all been in law enforcement, first responder jobs. The death of a brother or a colleague, if you will, or a friend, or however you look at him. Greg was a brother to me. He truly was.
Absolutely.
It after the following events after that, your morale at your agency will never be better. And it's very sad. I remember it lasted probably about a year and a half, and then it starts to taper off, right?
Sure.
If crime's not rampant, ultimately in most police agencies around the world, if crime's not rampant, that keeps cops busy. If cops aren't busy, they're always looking for the next thing, right? Whether that's internal, external, it doesn't really matter. But I bring that up because most recently we did have 2 fire guys that were killed, and I know a lot of agencies around the world or even around our nation, police and fire are like oil and water. It's not like that here.
No.
I remember, and I joined SWAT in 2006. And I remember there was this animosity between PD and fire. And I was a 24-year-old guy, and I was like, are you guys fucking stupid? If you get shot, these are the guys coming to work on you. Why are you guys being assholes to the fire guys?
That's so dumb.
And I'm not kidding you. I remember bringing that up, and I'm like, matter of fact, they should be on our fucking SWAT team, dude. We go to do these emergency calls for service. We should have the best of the best with us. And I remember I had a medic that lived across the street, Steve Jones, really good guy. Steve Jones lived across the street from me. And we had these backyard conversations over barbecues and beers. And I'm like, hey, you guys should join our SWAT team. And this had evolved over time. It's actually a funny story if you hear from Steve. But his son was like 6 or 7 at the time, and he's like, hey, I was just hoping, this is before I had kids, but Lindsay and I were married. We lived next to Steve, and he's like, hey, I was hoping that we could use your house as a safe house. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, my son needs a safe house. And I was like, my house ain't safe, dude. I got fucking guns stashed in every corner. And he's like, that's not what I mean. He's like, if my son's in danger, he could come to your house. I go, oh, shit, my bad. Yeah, he's more than welcome to come over anytime. Right. And we've just evolved this friendship. But since then, me and Steve, and with the help of others, we built this SWAT medic program.
Yeah.
But I know across the nation, sometimes it's oil and water, but dude, our police department, I've stopped by our fire stations, had dinner with all those guys.
You should have.
And that's just how the culture is.
And we were the same way where I came from.
Okay, good.
Here's what I would say about the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. Out of all the shit we went through, you're still going through, I never worried. I knew that if something happened to me or my partner or you, we were in very good hands. Those guys are top-notch fucking studs.
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene Fire Department is amazing.
That's cool.
And
They really are.
I never worried. I said I want Coeur d'Alene Fire Department to take care of me. For the love of God, don't take me to KMC. Take me to Spokane Sacred Heart.
Isn't it funny? Like you have that agreement with your beat partners of like, hey, if I get shot, this is where we go.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, like we all have that.
You know, all I heard with your story though about the SWAT medics is that every fireman wants to be a cop, and I did it.
You're not wrong.
But I'll tell you what, when they formed those reaction teams, those medics ate it up.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, we had those down in San Bernardino too. And, you know, those guys were chosen, and now, you know, that's their main thing. That's what they do. They work with SWAT. But they have that medical training, and it's awesome. That crossover is crazy. I will tell you, working both careers, there are so many things that are better about being a fireman.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can tell you.
Xbox.
We all know,
dude.
We all know.
Fire poles.
No, but there is, dude.
Stripper poles.
You're right. Like there's so many things that were better about being a fireman. There were so many things that were better about being a cop.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, dude. Cops, fucking, they can't clean shit.
You
go inside that station, guys will literally take trash and try to build the trash can as high as they can before they ever take it out.
How much did you do for fire in your career?
Fuck, dude, that's all.
Because they were too good.
Hey,
right?
CHP tried to arrest one of our engineers down there. So
not me. Hey, Boardman and I still stack the garbage in the office.
Yeah, I have to go take it out, dude. I'm like, do you guys know how to clean shit?
No,
like, what is wrong with you?
You're still in probie mode.
You know, there's nobody coming behind you to
people
take
that
care
do
of your
that.
stuff,
Dave,
right?
I truly want to hear, what's the top 2 things about being a cop versus fire?
So the best
gun?
thing, yeah.
Taking people to jail? Fuck.
No, so here's the best thing.
On duty.
Yeah, you want me to show you how to sleep like a fireman?
Yeah.
I'll come in there and I'll bang drums every like 30 minutes in your house, and you freaking let me know how your sleep was the next morning. You're like, oh man,
Actually, I can't imagine. That must have
it
sucked.
sucks.
That sucks.
Here's what I'll tell you was my favorite thing about fire. Was the camaraderie. You have it in law enforcement too, but you are with. It would be 4 of us on an engine all fucking day together. Like, we are together all day. We're eating together. We're going to the gym together. Like, everything that you do.
If you have the right dudes.
If you have the right dudes, right? But you do.
You've all had D-bags.
The camaraderie and fire is so much deeper, dude. Because
patrolling is an individual sport.
It is. It is very much. You still have that camaraderie with some people.
It's an individual sport.
It is. In fire, everything, like, we're going to go take a bite out of this shit sandwich. We're going to do it all together. Everybody has to suffer, right?
And you're right. You guys all roll together.
You suffer together.
Yeah.
So that was the best part about fire.
Reporter was like, that sucks, bro. I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
The best part about law enforcement was being able to make a decision. You know how many times on fire I'd have to get there and be like, God dang it, start LEO. And then I'd have to sit there and I'd have to wait and somebody would have to get there. When I was a cop up here and I got called by fire, I knew exactly what they needed. I'd walk in and before I even talk to the patient, I'd be like, what do you want? Do you want me to arrest him or do you want him to go to the hospital? What do you want? I don't even care. What I want is not to be here more than 2 seconds. Like, I'd walk in and be like, hey, you're on a hold and you're going to the hospital with these guys and that's it. Because in law enforcement, I got to make a decision that was effectively changing the route of everything. I was able to walk in, take the information, and make a decision. In fire, there were very few times where I was given that opportunity to say, hey, there's a conflict between me and either the patient or whoever it is on scene, and I now need somebody else to come in and do that. Law enforcement, I could walk in and be like, nope, this is what we're doing, and I'll deal with it later. Let's go.
It's funny, actually, Dave, for the podcast, a lot of people don't know, but you were on my shift. I was a sergeant when you were my patrol guys.
Shit.
Yeah, no joke.
I loved it.
Dave was stud, man. He's an easy guy. He can actually write reports that are legible.
He's
They actually
smart,
flow in
yeah.
chronological order. Yeah.
I typed everything. What do you mean it's legible?
I think it was AI,
that
but
shit, dude.
it was probably
He's
AI.
like, make it sound professional.
But I remember me and John Mortenson, one of the ceasefire from the Cantrell incident. Me and
Good-
John were
another
really
good
close.
fucking dude, by
He's
the
a
way.
fucking stud.
Amazing guy.
We were really close. Actually, it hit me hard that John passed. And I'm a lieutenant, so all the people that were affected on my shift, my job is to reach out to them, and I did. And then we had a debrief after the fact, and I was like, listen, I reached out to all you guys. When quite frankly, it probably hit me the fucking most. I've known John for over 20 years. We grew this bond. We started Rescue Task Force in Coeur d'Alene together. However, one thing he could never get out of his mind, and if he was here, he would be fucking punching me in the arm and would have the same conversation. Fire is different than police. Police is rapidly evolving. Fire is very incident command based. John could never get it out of his mind that if we had an active shooter at a certain specific area, that police are going to fucking run a gun, they're going to drop the threat, and then we can chill out and slow down, right?
Right.
Our whole goal is to stop the killing and then stop the bleeding. Fire is different, man. You guys are so incident command based that you guys are going to do a 360 walk around, all this crazy shit, which I'm not talking shit. That's how you guys are bred. It is more structured, but John and I always had this conflict. And then we had this understanding that let us do our PD shit. We're going to eliminate the threat. And then you guys will do your best to stop the bleeding. So you stop the killing, then stop the bleeding. We trained it so many times, but John always wanted this incident command and all that shit. I'm like, that does not happen post-Columbine. You wait too long. Every second. You got to remember, I could dump a 30-round magazine in 4 seconds. And if you put a name on each one of those bullets, that's a lot of fucking kids.
Yeah. So, and John, in a sense, was right. Because I'll tell you what, in law enforcement, a lot of times you don't have a choice. Right? You have to confront the felon. You have to confront the incident. You have to be there.
There's a point where your choices are limited and narrowed down to sometimes one.
Yes.
And everybody agrees it's all suspect outcome, right? If suspect comes out with his hands up, every cop and their wife would love, we don't have to use force against you, regardless of what the community thinks.
But here's the thing. So you put yourself in danger because you don't have a choice. In fire, as I matured in fire, as I became a captain, as I started running incident command and stuff like that, I had a choice and I realized it. I'd go to a fire and I didn't have to put my guys inside.
No.
They go, well, the house is only 50% involved. I go, I don't care. There's nobody in there.
It's property
Let's
damage. It's
protect the
property.
exposures. We don't have to go in there. I used to have to train firemen because they wanted to go inside, right? Getting a grab is like the thing in fire.
Of course.
Other than grabbing your brother.
You're risking lives to save lives, right? We don't risk our lives to save drugs or property damage. It's a whole different
So in fire, I had to teach guys, I'm like, look, if you see that fire right now and you're worried about somebody being in there and you want to save a life, take your gear off and go in there and get them. Because here's the thing, you're wearing all of this gear to protect your life that you can't go in an environment because if you do, you'll die. So if you have to wear your gear to go inside that environment to go save somebody, they're dead. So if you really want to say, that's why cops, funny enough, if you look at actual statistics, cops pull more people out of a fire than firemen.
100%.
Because they get there quicker and you can only go so far because it's too fucking hot and you can't breathe.
Absolutely.
When I go in there and I got my BA, dude, it's like 1,100 degrees up top and I'm pulling dead bodies out.
There was a night where the
Yes.
flames were coming down the seams of the drywall, the ceiling, and we're carrying this old lady out. We're
Right.
punching down. Fire's still on their way.
Right.
We got everybody out and they're like, you went in there. We're like,
They're fucking,
yeah,
they're loading, they're hooking their hoses
But
up.
the only
right?
reason you're going in is
But
because you
that's-
can.
That's no
Yes.
shit talk. We just got there early enough to get it done.
And
Well-
you could go in. It was
Correct.
survivable.
Correct.
So you find a survivable.
But Dave,
It was
also,
hot, but it was
not
survivable.
until like further in your career where you get education. I didn't know booting the door is going to add another oxygen
Yeah,
source.
stop
Now I'm
that
making it
shit,
fucking
dude.
worse.
dude.
That's
I'm
correct.
looking at the
Close
glory
the
of saving
doors.
10 people's lives, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get chastised from fire when in my mind I'm like, fuck you, dude. You guys abide every rule of the road to get here. You stop at every red light, running code 3 or not, and we just saved
Negative,
3 people's
dude.
lives, and now you're
Not
pissed
with me. This is different.
that's-
And by
that's
the way,
reality.
fire didn't know that kicking open that door caused issues until like the mid 2000s,
Fair,
dude.
because they made us sound like
They'd
it was
kick
For
'em in
the
too.
record, this is all friendly banter.
I mean, this is why it's a beautiful marriage between the
Always,
two,
dude.
right?
It is.
Because I can't tell you how many wildfires, right? Cal Fire would
yeah.
come out. Cal Fire can set up like the what do you call it? The
Incident command.
Incident command.
ICS.
They come in and they set that shit up, and I mean, there's like they built a city.
Fire is
And you
good at
need
incident
that
command,
shit,
man.
right?
You
Like
guys are
cops,
the top
we don't
guys.
do that.
No.
So
It's boring as shit, dude. Once you set that up,
It
you don't do
is.
anything anymore.
is.
Cops are
It
that
is.
friend that you have. You're like, hey, call Seth. He'll do anything.
Yeah, he'll fuck shit up, right? Yeah, come and fuck it up, smash some shit.
They're like, I'm not doing.
That was the freedom of being a cop. Like you're like,
You need that
you
guy.
can't go past her. Yes, I can.
can.
Get the fuck out of the way,
Yeah.
dude. I'm going up there.
Anywhere.
You can do it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, we all talk shit, but
No,
damn it,
dude,
but
we
damn
honestly-
it, like.
I
a
was-
brotherhood.
It's a
regardless.
brotherhood.
I'm close with as many fire guys.
Oh,
as I
dude,
can.
totally.
Absolutely. They're
we,
all studs,
we would do
man.
the same thing. We would go to Cal Fire stations because being a trooper is like you say. Being a cop in general is lonely. Being a trooper's lonely.
Oh yeah.
I could only
Like-
imagine.
Oh yeah.
Backup's 30 minutes away. It sucks, dude. So we
More
would
than
go,
that sometimes.
We would go into Cal Fire stations out in the hills, and they're lonely out there. They're doing whatever they do out there, not doing anything. And we'd go eat dinner with them, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was fucking great, man. Like they're always happy to see us, and we go bullshit and hang out with them for a little bit because you'd see them on all the calls, right?
Yep.
So that was a beautiful thing. I don't know. Like I think it's a great marriage.
And honestly, you have to. But when I hear like this oil water where PD's
I've
trying to
seen
arrest
it.
fire and shit,
I've
I'm like,
seen
are
it.
you fucking
I saw
kidding
it
me,
with
dude?
old
You guys are the
school-
same fucking team.
I saw it with old school troopers where I worked. Like
Okay.
weird,
Dude,
but they'd be
some
weird
cops
towards
are
the
so
PD too.
rigid, man.
Yeah,
They're
they'd
just
be,
like
they'd be
it's
weird
black
towards the
and
PD.
white, and
Like, by God, you touch a piece of evidence on the
It's
freeway
fucking
that from a
crazy to
crash,
me.
like these guys would lose their minds. I'm
know-
like, firefighters, fucking get out of the road. I don't care.
You know what always boggles my mind, Seth, and not that you'll relate, but you'll relate to
Should I
the,
put my
the
trooper hat
irony
on?
of this. No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no. The fact that you stop somebody for 6 over instead, not you, but
Yeah.
like troopers, you'll stop somebody for 6 over instead of 5, right?
Yeah.
During your 1 hour traffic stop, dude, 40 fucking pounds of meth went by you, and you know what I mean? Three gang members on their way to commit a murder. It's like, fuck, dude, let's checks and balance what we're actually enforcing. And that was my mindset from day one. Is like,
Yeah.
I just feel like the violent crime needs more
Yeah.
attention from me than
But
some of the other
this
minor
goes
stuff.
back to all types, right? Like
You're
you
100%
need
right.
that dude out writing speeding tickets. Like,
Well, and
I don't like doing it, but you need somebody to do it.
honestly, and I was not a huge DUI cop. However, one of my worst memories that sticks with me, PTSD, whatever or PTS, whatever you call it, is a decapitated 2-year-old
Yeah.
from a DUI crash where the mom came on scene after the fact because she was transported by a cousin, and her 2-year-old's decapitated, and the scream out of her mouth sticks with me every night before I go to bed.
I can't imagine because I've seen similar, and it's like, yeah, that's why I love DUIs, dude.
Me
like,
too.
I will annihilate them,
Honestly,
so I
and
never have to see that again.
honestly, I was never a DUI cop, but I understand the importance of not only that, but also traffic. Speeding kills, man. Speed
Yeah.
kills fucking
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I've never written one speeding ticket in 20 years, but I also understand the
Really?
never one. Not
No
once.
way.
Always violent crime, and I'm not lying about that.
Damn,
It's
you've been a
just true.
street goon from the beginning.
I have,
You know what's crazy too?
but I recognize all aspects of it.
Yeah.
It's very important.
One of the best DUI cops that both of us know. I remember when he was training me in the academy, and one of the things he said, he goes, here's the reason why, because I wasn't into DUIs. I'm like, this is stupid, dude. Like most people when they're getting into law enforcement.
Until you have a decapitated kid. I
So-
can remember his name, and I fucking think
Yep.
of it every night before I go to bed.
So here's the thing.
Fuck
I remember him telling me, he goes, look, I know a lot of you are in here because you want to go fight, the bad guys and do all this stuff. He goes, how many times have you heard of a gang member killing a family of 5?
That's good perspective.
And I'm like,
That is a DUI
holy
cop's
shit.
perspective.
Yeah. And he goes, but people that drive DUI have killed lots of families of 5.
Absolutely.
Like
We
it's a big reason to enforce it.
100%.
We had a trooper come in when I was in the academy and do a presentation of a crash he took. It was actually in the neighboring city where I ended up working, but 3 generations, grandparents, parents, kids, all killed by DUI in one car.
Crazy.
Fucked up.
You sit through that and you're like, what the fuck? So
Dude,
you
and
could
the
go out and have a
fact
good
that
time.
there's Uber or all these other things.
There's no
that people
excuse for it
No,
anymore.
I would
Yeah.
agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I was a college kid. I don't like leaving my car downtown, but also I never drove home
Yeah.
fucking absolutely shit-faced to the fact where you know what I mean? That is unacceptable, especially with all the resources available.
Full disclosure, I've made that mistake. A long time ago. I wouldn't do that anymore by any means, but
Sometimes it takes perspective,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
DUIs didn't enlighten me until that happened with a decapitated kid, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that. That is unacceptable.
Right. Nobody
This
should have
mom
to see
will
that.
100%
Mom should
Tough, dude.
definitely
Out
not
of
have
all
to
the
see
crazy
that.
shit
Yeah.
I've seen in 20 years, SWAT, community action team, street crimes, that is what sticks with me.
That's the stuff that does stick with you. And the thing is like we used to have that. And you talked about checking on your guys, right? I used to have to do I had to do checks on my guys when we had those types of calls. We've had those.
Yes.
And then I had to check with people, but then you'd see people that were messed up. And that's the hard thing about that job too, is because I'd have a very honest conversation with people and say, look, you're my medic on my crew. If you need help, I'm here for you, dude. Like, I'll get you whatever you need. We'll get you whatever resources. But I want you to think about this. If we get that call right now, okay, if we get that call right now and we have a chance to save that kid right now, is your head going to be in it? Because if it's not, if you can't see that happen and be able to turn it off and be able to go to the next call and be able to be in it so that you can potentially affect change for somebody else, this might not be the right job for you.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the suppression, right? That's where you get people that are like, I think about it every night, but not when I'm on duty.
Right.
Because when I'm on duty, I'm focused and I have other things that I need to deal with, and I laugh it off and I make jokes or whatever else. When I go home at night, that's when it affects you.
Right. 100%.
Well, yeah. I mean, you still got to handle business, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think the team helps that.
Big
Right.
time.
I think in a
You-
team environment, something that I experienced on the team is you have a guy who had been through hell, right? First guy to Greg Moore.
Yep.
That just because you're struggling with that doesn't mean the job's not for you, right?
Right.
It's a fucking very abnormal thing to experience in
Yeah.
life,
Oh yeah.
and it's gonna last your lifetime.
100%.
Good fucking cop, good fucking dude, fantastic fucking partner.
Yep.
You guys,
And when you would show up, you would be like, you're struggling today. Today, I drive, I handle everything. You sit there and you decompress. You use me as your sounding board. I know that being at work is your safe place. Being at work is where you're more emotionally stable than being alone in your own thoughts.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy,
true.
right?
Yep, but it's
true.
100% true.
It's
But
true.
you have to.
And you have to learn to recognize that in your partner, where you're like, bro, I got you today. I love you. You're my brother. You just sit there. I got you. You don't get out no matter what. If I'm in a gun battle, you fucking sit there. I got it.
you guys. Here's
You
the thing.
fucking sit there. Don't move.
The sad thing is mental health has always been this machismo thing in both PD and fire, right?
Up until recently.
If you're struggling mental health wise, you're a pussy. And that's sad, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's the
you
old school
see
way,
crazy shit. At 22, I saw a kid decapitated. That ain't fucking normal
No.
shit, right?
No.
My parents are in their 70s. They've never seen that shit. And I experienced that at 22. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. When I promote, on my shift, I had an officer get shot because we're proactively seeking out felons. A week later, there's another officer involved shooting. And within this 2-year time span of me being a sergeant, there's 7 OISs, right? That's shit people don't experience. And when other people experience these crazy emergencies, you're like, if fucking rounds aren't being fired, chill the fuck out, right? That is not normal, but it's our normal. And I don't think the community ever realizes that. Like, our normal is most people's red line. And it's sad to think that that's your normal shit. So this most recent Canfield incident, my kids, we've always sheltered, right? I don't want my kids to know. They truly think I save cats out of trees. And I know that's a fire analogy, but I want them sheltered. I don't want them stressed out when I leave, right? So this shit's happening. We get off the lake. I get dispatched for a SWAT call in Canfield, and I have to call dispatch. And I said, hey, babe, I can't shelter the kids on this one. I need to know what's up so that I can start replacing or start putting resources where they need to be on our way to this incident. So I have dispatch on speaker in my car as I'm hauling ass to this incident so I could get there, and my kids hear everything. I didn't know how impactful this was to my kids until I got home after that incident, and I come through the door, and they give me this huge hug, and they start crying. And I'm like, holy fuck.
They were with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
They were with me. I was off. I'm on call in my personal car. On my way when I get a call, or we're on our way home from our cabin. We're on the lake, normal Sunday. And I get a call from my, sergeant saying, hey, we need SWAT for this Canfield incident. And I've always sheltered my kids. It's something minor. Dad's got to go in and do paperwork because I don't want them to know how fucking crazy the world is.
Well, did you even do that a little bit with your wife? I'm sure.
100%.
Yep.
It has backfired many a times when she sees the news saying Coeur d'Alene Police Department's been in an active whatever, and then I have to go back and explain. But I don't want her to know how crazy law enforcement really can be.
It's a protective mode.
It is. It really is. I don't want them to
And
be
do you know how many
stressed
times
out.
you're told that that's wrong to do?
Well,
And I disagree with that.
I still do it. My kids still think when SWAT gets called out, they go save fucking cats out of trees. They don't know that, hey, we're involved with a gunfight, or you were shot at, or why do you have these cool trucks and shit like that. I don't want them to. I still want to keep them innocent as long as I can.
cats out of trees thing. That's a little intense, though.
I know,
I come up with something else.
I keep saying
something
that.
else,
I
dude.
feel like
Tell us the best cat story.
There's no cats in trees, dude.
I don't know the best fire analogy.
They got up there, they'll get out. Oh my goodness,
You
dude.
never see a cat skeleton in a tree,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a thing. I've had so many people call us. I'm like, man, put some milk at the bottom of the pole.
Hang on, the fact
and
that
then
you have
walk
a
away.
resolution for that
It's
just confirms
true.
all my
You know why?
suspicions.
Because people call and they're like, he won't come down. I'm like,
What's
well,
your
what are you
SOP
doing?
on that one?
They're like, I'm at the bottom of the pole calling it. Be like, cat doesn't fucking like you. Move. And the cat will come down when you're not there.
Is that dialogue in your
man.
training
The cat
manual?
doesn't know you, dude. He's not coming down.
That in itself confirms my whole
You-
podcast.
you-
I could cash out right now. and
You
I'm
got to
happy.
take it the trooper mentality when you have.
I
when you
love
have-
it, man. Dave, you just solved my all my
just
world's
saying.
problems, man. You're
Milk
right.
in a
I've never
saucer
seen a
and get out of the
skeleton in a
way.
tree.
No, I heard that from another firefighter that I know, and I'm like, oh, good
because
point.
you were
good
talking
point.
shit.
Yeah, as a trooper, like when you have an animal in the road, you either run it over or shoot it, and,
Yeah.
you remove the problem that way.
Yes.
It's much more savage. Yeah.
You guys, the only reason I give that crooked eye look is the first time I
You ran
went
something
to,
over, didn't you?
No. I get dispatched to a injured deer. It's literally impaled on this fence.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Is that
Two broken
is this
legs.
the Pulaski story?
Two
What?
Two broken legs.
Okay, I have a sledgehammer story
What
to tell
did you do?
Hold on.
No,
Two
not
bro-
him. He didn't do it.
Two broken legs, and this thing's fucking in pain. You can. It's like squeaking, like it's sad. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. You got to put it out of misery, right? Boom! I shoot it right in the head. Good headshot. This fucking thing jumps up 2 legs and runs halfway up a mountain.
Oh my god.
Now I feel like I'm in a foot pursuit with a deer, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I made this shit worse. I shot it, and now it's in more pain because I shot it. So I'm chasing this thing up a hill, and I'm like, bing, 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 bing.
It's
And
just
I'm
running
like,
for its life.
It is with 2 fucking
But the funny thing
legs,
is,
and
he's
I'm
saying "being" as you shoot.
Do you make sounds when you
Listen.
shoot?
You want to know how policy's made? It perforated my eardrum, and I had vertigo
It's
for
true.
like
I
90
remember
days.
you
So a
had vertigo.
policy
It's
was
true.
made that
That is
if you
true.
shoot a deer, now you have to wear ear
He was
protection.
sick forever.
Thanks.
I
You're
wore
the
my
guy.
ear. Yeah.
You're the
That
guy.
Yes.
Everyone I shot
I
went
made
down.
more than one policy, but that
So-
was originated from that.
This is crazy. This is where I have to tell viewers, like, hey, dude, if you don't like animal deaths, then maybe forward like
buddy,
another.
do I have some animal
Six-
death stories.
Did I ever tell you about my cat
No
story?
animals were hurt in these stories.
I never told you about my cat story. So this is my cat story. So when I was a brand new probationary fireman down in Fontana.
Oh, you did.
Yes, you remember this?
Yeah.
Yes. On
Sledge-
Arrow
sledgehammer?
on
It's
Arrow
not a good
Avenue.
story.
On Arrow Avenue.
Put
Okay, we
earmuffs
get a
on the
call at
kids.
night. We get a call at night for a diabetic, and we had AMR, so we had a
shouldn't share
separate
this.
ambulance. What?
Yeah, like Spokane.
I'll be
Shouldn't-
quick.
You, shouldn't
You were
share
playing
this.
polo
No.
with cats.
We had a separate ambulance. It was AMR. And so they get dispatched to this diabetic, and then we had a squad, and that's what I was on. So the squad was like a utility vehicle for that, and we'd have 2 medics on it. So I'm on it with another medic. I'm brand new, dude. We're driving to this call, and we hit a cat. Boom in the road. We're like, oh shit! This is before
Fire cannot
this is
hit a
before
cat.
cell phones and cameras and all this shit, right? So we hit this thing. We get on scene, and the engine gets out because they're following us too. So we got the engine with 3 guys, us with 2, and then the ambulance with 2. All do a diabetic. So we take everybody we can.
Yeah, we
Okay?
know. We know how fire rolls.
Code
dude.
3 in the middle of the night. We can't sleep. You can't sleep. So, anyways, we get there, and it's an easy call. So the engine jumps out, and they're like, "Dude, did you guys? We hit a cat on the way." We're like, "Oh my god, dude, we hit a cat too." So, anyways, we're laughing, and the engine gets released. So they go back to the station, and they were up all night too. So they get back to the station. They're sitting out front of the engine. Ambulance transports, and we come back down Arrow, and I see the cat in the middle of the street, and I see it moving, and I'm like, "Oh shit." And I'm like, dude, turn around. And I'm with a senior fireman, right? I'm brand new. And so I flip around, and there's no cars in the street or anything else. It's on main road down
Makes
there.
it so much better.
Yeah, and I get out there and I look, and this cat's like, nah. And I'm like, oh shit, dude. I'm like, this cat, dude, we got to put this cat out of the misery. And I'm like, can we just run it over? Like, can we do something? And my guy's like, no, dude, we're not running it over again. And I'm like,
How old were you?
And he's like, go get an axe. I'm like, I'm not hitting an axe on the pavement out here. And so he's like, go get the sledgehammer. I'm like, all right.
my God.
So I go get a
boy.
sledgehammer, dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
This is dark, bro.
And I come back, and he looks at me, he goes, well, and I'm like, no, dude. I was like, my wife will kill me, bro. I was like, you take this. So he looks around, Mondo,
will kill me.
yeah, big old Hispanic dude, and he's like, got this sledgehammer, and he's like looking around, making sure.
shit.
And this cat's suffering, dude. We want to put this cat out of
Dude,
its
it's
misery.
like the deer.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So he goes over there, and he goes to hit this cat. The cat jumps up and starts running.
Oh no!
He drops the sledgehammer and runs back to the rig. Now I got the sledgehammer. I'm chasing this cat around in the middle of the street, dude.
fucking sledgehammer.
Yes.
That's dark, bro.
So we finally we run back, and anyways, we get back to the to the station. And so this was like my 4th day on duty. These guys didn't know me at all. And I remember it was Mejia, Thorne Benedict, and
Street
Steve
cred.
Simpson. Dude, they're all sitting out there. And we back in, and I get out, and my turnouts are all bloody, and I got a sledgehammer, and it's coming.
Oh my God.
And they're like, what the hell? So I got labeled the cat killer because of that. I'm like, oh, man.
You should have told me you couldn't hit the van ride. It was squirting that shit.
Wow.
I hit everything.
pretty
Give me an
dark.
IV right now. I'll freaking knock
pretty
it out.
That is glorious.
That
You
is
guys will
pretty
be
dark.
feeling great in about 5 minutes after I give you a bag
I
of
feel
saline.
great right now. Don't ruin it.
That is glorious. Yeah,
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, policymaker, man.
Yeah.
Perforated eardrum, vertigo, 90 days, man. I literally thought I was dying.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was bad. I literally would get up and I was dizzy.
And AR's loud, dude.
They are,
It's
and we didn't have
super loud.
suppressors back
Super
then, man. We
loud.
couldn't afford them. That shit was like taboo.
Oh.
No suppressor.
Gentlemen, we're about an hour and a half into this.
Dang,
believe it or
we're
not.
over.
Yeah.
Well, hold
yeah,
on.
Which
If-
is okay.
If you've listened to this podcast,
back,
one of the
Dave.
things I will bring it back.
Yep.
One of the reasons why we partnered with John and Spencer, obviously in North Idaho, we've tried to do everything we can to try to be. We're gonna be here longer. Anyways,
Hey, we're going another hour.
Construction.
we've spent time to try to create a community, right? Try to create people that want to be part of this community, that want to be integrated, that want to have that sense of belonging up here. And like you guys are huge at that. You guys have done so much for this community. You talk about that cat team, like we didn't talk enough about it. The fact that you guys had such an integral role in how this community developed from 2015 forward. To say that it was the meth capital of the world, and then to see where Coeur d'Alene is now, and how especially felons and people that are involved in bad shit, how they perceive this community, makes this community so safe. And it's rippled effect, has a ripple effect through all of the new guys that are in law enforcement, gals that are in law enforcement. And that's been huge. And that's one of the reasons why we partnered for you guys, because you guys have an absolute passion for people, right? So that's something that we want to continue. And, we'll do a lot more stuff with you guys that are a little more pointed towards what you're actually doing, which is North Idaho Experience Custom Homes. So if you guys have questions about anything like that, the building process or anything else, this is, once again, we want to make it a safe space to where if you have questions or anything else that you can ask them, and it's not a sales pitch. It's not, we can actually help you figure out whether or not things are right for you. We want people in this community that participate in those things, that are part of the procession, that understand that law enforcement and first responders and veterans and people like that are important in our community. And that small business is important. So, Coeur d'Alene definitely has a niche, and we want to make sure that we keep that, and we just appreciate you guys. So
I will leave it.
Yeah.
I will leave it at this. In closing, we are only going to build stuff that we would truly put our own stamp of approval on, right? If a foundation's fucked up, Seth, I'm sorry. If we ruin a relationship with a person, I want your house to be as successful as if it was my own. And I say that to all first responders. There's already this sense of, I trust you. You're a police officer. You're a firefighter. You're a military. We got your back, dude. And that's what drives me to do this outside of my 9-to-5 job. I want to make sure that first responders, military personnel, or anybody else truly that builds with us, you're not getting fucked with this square foot for a cost build that's ridiculous.
Yep.
And two, that we will build your house no different than it's ours. Because if I'm putting my stamp of approval on it, that goes further for me for future endeavors than not, right?
Yeah.
I don't care to get rich off of fucking one house build. I'd rather it be such quality that you spread that to 10 people, and over those 10 people we can have quality builds than one person that we're trying to make money off.
Yeah.
And that's not why we do it. I love the building process.
And I think you could agree with this. And correct me if I'm wrong. There came a point in time when we were doing a dig where I said, because you hired your own excavator, not us.
Yeah.
I said, Seth, get it right or I'm not building your house.
You did. Yep.
Well,
and I
you boys,
appreciated
let's
that.
put it into perspective. If your excavator operator is not going to give you a 10-year warranty on your house, we have to. It's got to be to our specs.
Yeah, and I appreciated that, right? I needed to hear that. And ultimately it was like, you know what? I'm going to let you handle that. Because you're right. Like, you're putting your name on it, not mine. And I obviously want a good house.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to honor that. And I'm like, you run it exactly how you would run it anybody else.
And I'll give you props. Not once did you give me resistance.
I mean, no.
I felt it, but you did not give me resistance.
No, and I
he
wasn't-
called me crying, Dave, I don't know what to
help
do.
me
Oh, do I dig more? Do I not?
Mom and Dad are
God
fighting.
dang it.
But
yeah,
you're a
that's
brother
the way,
to me.
That's the way. Well, I trust
I
you, dude.
would
Like,
never-
I trust you, and you fucking built a shitload of homes, really nice homes. So I haven't.
And everyone we're going to stamp
Yeah.
our name on is
Yeah.
going to be quality.
And that's a big deal. That was the point of this podcast is for you guys out there listening that are thinking about building up here at some point to, for us, character is everything, right? And we wanted to get your character out there so people can see what they're dealing with, right? That's huge. Obviously you have the experience, but what are you guys like on the backside? Are you gonna honor your commitments? Obviously, yes. Are you honest? Yes. That's the important information that we needed to get out to those that are listening.
And if you have any questions, call and ask for the person that's in charge. That'd be Seth Horst.
Get out of here.
Feel free to call and ask for him, man.
All
That
hours,
is the guy.
3 a.m., 2 a.m., he will
Seth
answer.
Horst, call and say, can I speak to Seth?
I love it.
Dave, can I have a day off? Freaking whatever.
Thank you guys for coming on,
We
dude.
appreciate
thanks
you
for
guys,
having
man.
us.
We're glad we could get it out there.
Look forward to a lot more videos as we get a little more
Yes.
detailed in what it takes to build a home and everything else. If you guys have questions, reach out to us. We'll get them answered for you.
Yeah. And stay tuned for that SWAT hit on the house.
It was glorious.
It was
Thank
glorious.
you, boys.
All right.